In this section, we're going to talk about the crime of rape, and I'm going to try and tell you a couple of things that you might not know and that might help you out. These days, as a police officer, you're going to spend a lot of time, I think, working at night by yourself, not with a partner. In my time, we always had a partner. There were fewer cars, but we always had a partner for protection. These days, you're going to be by yourself, and you're going to have to know some things. You're going to have to do some things to protect you in a way that you wouldn't if you did have a partner. So we'll talk about that. We found that certain things are more likely to occur on certain nights of the week than others. For instance, armed robbery occurred more often on Thursday night than any other night of the week, and I don't know why. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's the way it was. Tuesday night was always the quietest, most dead, most nothing happening day of the week. And it got to be a real challenge to try and find something to do on those nights. Assuming that it's a Tuesday night and you're by yourself and you're looking for something to do, it's the kind of night that a minor fender-bender accident, you get 5 or 6 police cars, they all show up, they're all directing traffic that isn't there, they're picking up hubcaps and chrome pieces and soil samples and all this kind of thing, and nothing's happening. A prowler mark. Everybody shows up for that, and we search the woods and hey, helicopters. And that's what happens on Tuesday night. You turn your radio on and off because nothing happens and you think it might have broken. Well, it's a Tuesday night and you're looking for something to do, anything. Well, you're driving down a street in a kind of an industrial part of town, and as you go by an alleyway, something catches your eye. Your peripheral vision is good, and you see this thing, you don't know what it is. You stop your car, you back up, put your light down the alley, and you see a garbage can sitting in the middle of the alleyway. Well, that in and of itself is not that big a thing, but it's Tuesday night. And so you think, well, you'll be a good guy. You'll take this garbage can out of the way because police cars, ambulances, fire engines go through alleys. And so you get down there. Well, you're cautious. You're by yourself. You look around. You shine your light. You don't see anything. You don't hear anything. You get out of your car and you go over, pick up your garbage can. You grab it, and you hear a voice. And the voice says, "Don't make a fucking move, cop, or I'll blow your head off." Now, there's a choice you make at that point. Can you draw fast enough to address this person? I don't think so. I never could, and I wouldn't have taken that chance. You're holding onto your garbage can and you sneak a look over and you see this person. Now, the first thing you notice is the gun he's got pointed at you. And the end of it looks about this big around. And it's bouncing all over the place like this. And the next thing you notice about this fellow there is that you can smell him. He's 6 feet away and you can smell him. And he smells bad. Now you look a little closer at him. He's got hair that comes down past his shoulders. He's got a beard. His hair is raunchy, dirty, oily, greasy, kind of hair that if you grab like this, it makes a rope. His face is covered with zits, and a lot of them are open and running, and got snot in his mustache. He's just an awful, awful looking guy. And he's got a gun, and it's pointed at you. He's saying, "Don't move. Don't make a fucking move." Well, right about now, you're not making any fucking moves. I've known a lot of police who've been in this situation, and one close friend who has. And if you are like them or him, you're going to do what they uniformly did, and that's play for time. Look for an advantage. Look for some out. Use your voice. Talk to this person. Calm them down. Well, you decide to do that. Let's assume you do that. You're like me. You're like my friend. And you play for time. Well, about that time, as you're holding your garbage can, you hear a little giggle from over here. Now you take a little peek over there, and you see the second fellow. Now, this guy makes that guy look like Tom Cruise. He is, if you can imagine, worse. He is slimy. You can smell him. And he is just vibrating. He's almost hysterical. He's jumping up and down. We got one, we got one, we got one. And you're holding your can. You try to say something and say, don't say a fucking word. So you don't. This one crawls over. Not down up here where you can grab him, but he crawls over and reaches up and takes out your pistol. Now he's got it, and you're totally disarmed. And believe me, this has happened too. And he kind of crawls back over here. Now this one, he's saying, we got him, we got him, we got ourselves a fucking cop. He says, I wonder if cops know how to give blowjobs. Can cops give head? What do you think? What do you do? You're still looking for an advantage. You're looking for a way out of this. And this one is hysterical. He says, I think so. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do it. So this one comes around in front of you. He gets in front of you, and he's got his gun, and he says, down on your knees. Or I'll kill you. I'll kill you. So what do? You don't want to die. You don't want to die. Nobody wants to die. So you do it. You get down on your knees. Put your hands behind you like he tells you. He comes up and he taps you on the forehead with this pistol. He says, open up. Open up. Well, right then, you know these guys. This one has been arrested for assaulting his wife. This one has been arrested countless times for beating up women in general, and his girlfriend in particular. You know who they are. They're badasses. You're going to do it. And so you open up. And he hauls out his penis. And it's red and large. And of course it's smelly. And he makes some vague kinds of comments about it doesn't hurt anymore. And you do it. He puts it in your mouth. And he says things like, oh yeah, do it. Come on. Oh, that's good. Oh yeah, come on. Oh yeah. And he's got your hair here and a pistol here in your head. And he comes in your mouth. And it's awful. It's awful. It smells bad. It's nasty. And you throw up all over. And he laughs. And so does he, this guy over here. He just thinks that's the funniest thing he's ever seen. And you're dying, and you're wondering if you're making the right choices. And you throw up, and you hear this guy over here laughing and laughing and laughing, and he's carrying on. He says, I want to nail him in the ass. I want to nail him in the ass. Get him down, get him down. Well, in the midst of throwing up, they throw you over your garbage can. And this guy here, he pulls down your pants, your brandy new pants, and he nails you in the ass. And it hurts. It hurts real bad. And you're thinking, maybe dying? You don't know. You don't know. And about that time, just as he comes, this other one hits you over the head. Bang! Doesn't knock you out, but down you go. Blood flies everywhere. And among the things that go scattered through your mind at that point is, you're almost positive these guys didn't wear condoms. With all that means and all that implies. You're in a bad way, but what really has happened here? What's happened? You got raped. You were raped. Like 400,000 or so American women were last year. You were raped. No more, no less. The fact that you're the police doesn't make a difference, really. You're a victim. Well, just about that moment, out of this doorway comes this woman, probably a cleaning woman, and she says, my God, officer, I saw what happened. I saw. I'll get help. Stay right where you are. And she runs. Now, she saw it, so you can't deny that it happened. You know that it happened, and she knows, and so it can't be denied. Almost instantly, you hear the sirens start up. You know that help is on the way. You wait, and in a very short time, up comes the police car. You know the two officers in the car. They're not friends, but they work in the same district that you do, and of course they rush right to you. And they're concerned, are you okay? What happened? Let me look at this, look at that, you're bleeding, and so on. And at that point, you make a decision that's going to affect the rest of your life. And you're going to think about it. You're going to wonder about it, whether you should have or not. You make a decision at that point. You tell them what happened. Tell them what happened. You say, one of them made me give him a blowjob, and the other one nailed me in the ass. And they look at each other. And they look at you. And one of them says, what? They did what? And you tell them. And they say, didn't you pull your gun out? Didn't you shoot him? Didn't you? No, I couldn't. They were going to kill me. They had a gun on me. They would have killed me. Well, didn't you hit him? Kick him in the balls. Scratch him. Anything. Run. No, no, they were going to kill me. And they look at each other, and they look back at you, and you know it's changed. At that point then, it kind of slows down a little bit. They put you in their police car. They try and find someone else to take you to the hospital because it's going to tie up two people for basically transportation. And failing that, they say, well, we'll take you. Boom. They hang the mic up, and they take you off to the hospital. You get to the hospital, you go to the ER, and lo and behold, it's one of those nights. There's been a major accident. There are people all over the place, and you're prioritized since you're not in a life-threatening situation. You wait in a little room. Well, you find something strange happens. Everybody in that hospital has reason to come by your room and look at you, sometimes twice. And they know, and you know that they know what happened to you. But there's nothing you can do about it. You sit in your room and you wait. After a time, somebody comes in and they spread out the white piece of paper on the floor, and they have you take all your clothes off, all of them, and put them on the white paper, bundle that up, all your clothing, everything, and that's evidence. And they take that, and there you are. You've got a hospital gown, and that's it. Well, after a time, you get into the ER itself, you get into the examining room, and you get up on the table, and you hang your legs over what are called stirrups. And I've heard them described as like oarlocks. You lay flat on your back, and you put your legs up and hook your knees over these stirrups, exposing yourself. And the doctor then makes a rape exam, swabs your anus, looks for, with a black light, looks for semen stains. They take maybe blood samples if there's blood present and so on. Pull out pubic hairs, and that hurts. They have to pull them out. They have to get the roots, so they can't cut them, but pull them out. And while they're doing that, somebody's at the other end taking care of your cut, and there's a third person who's there with a clipboard writing down what happened to you. Now, there's got to be somebody else that knows. You've got to tell somebody else. Well, you kind of turn in to yourself. You get through this thing. And now you're faced with a real dilemma. How do you go home? Your car's at the station. You have no clothes other than a hospital gown, so you have to call for help. Who do you call? You call your wife, if you have one. That would be difficult. Explaining what happened, especially the part about no condoms, unprotected, so on. Called your best friend. You have to tell your best friend what happened to you. So what do? We'll assume that you find some way of getting home. It's going to be difficult, to say the least, no matter how you find a way home, but you do get home. And so the lieutenant says, well, come on back to work. Give yourself a day and come on in. And so you do. And you go back to work. How do you think you'd feel? Driving around, you're alone at night, same situation. How do you think you'd feel about alleys, people? It would be different. But something else is different. the officers that you work with treat you differently. It's a different situation. They don't sound the same. They don't talk the same. Things have changed. And after a few days, one of your friends comes to you, says, Dick, I'm going to tell you something. I'm your friend. I'm going to tell you something because I'm your friend. Well, in my experience, when anybody tells you, I'm going to tell you something because I'm your friend, watch out. He says, Dick, the guys have been talking. They say, you know, you said that these guys, you'd known them, you'd arrested them. The guys are saying that these guys are friends of yours, that you'd met them there before, and that this was something consensual, kind of, that just got a little bit out of hand. Is that true? How do you think you'd feel? How do you think you'd feel about that? What do you think you'd want to do? What can you do? You'd want to strangle this guy, but then he's your friend. Could you go to everybody in that police department and grab them all and tell them, no, it wasn't like that, I didn't do that, it wasn't that way? No, you couldn't. If you did, it would probably make them wonder even more. You couldn't ever completely wipe that out. Probably couldn't even affect that. And it would be something you'd have to live with the rest of your life. Again, what's happened to you? You've been raped. And this is what happens to people who get raped. The guiding kind of thought about all this, what you can think about. How would you like the police to respond to one of your loved ones, God forbid, who would find themselves in this situation? How would you like them to treat your loved ones? And if you think about it and you do that which you would like them to do, if you treat victims that you encounter that way, you'll be okay. You'll do the right thing. Thank you.